Here is a comparison between the two 2025s. This is a Nissan Pathfinder SV in gun metallic versus the Infiniti QX60 Luxe in Harbor Gray. Infiniti for 2025 dropped the V6, which you still get that on the Pathfinder. So you're gaining 16 horsepower here, but you're gaining 37 pound-feet of torque here, all for 2 mpgs more for the city. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. Starting in the front of the Pathfinder, you get the V-Motion grille. The chrome is going to surround it with the glossy black inserts that boast into the LED headlights and daytime runnings. 7.1 inches of clearance, and when you go to the Rock Creek, you got 7.7 inches of clearance, whereas Infiniti is 6.7 inches of clearance. But it sits lower, it looks more athletic because we have the black appearance package that blackens out the front grille. You get the Infiniti print underneath that boasts into the LED headlights and daytime runnings. There isn't any fog lights that you can option on Infiniti. Front parking sensors, and the lower it gets the glossy black that bulge out, which I'm not a huge fan of that. I think that it's a little bit of an overkill. It could be a little bit more simplified. Just maybe leave it where you have a lip spoiler instead of two bulging pieces that kind of look like it should not really be there. Underneath the hood has changed the whole ball game, because when you go into Nissan, you're getting the 3.5 liter naturally aspirated V6 that's producing 284 horsepower with 259 pound-feet of torque paired to a 9-speed automatic transmission, whereas the Infiniti has dropped that. Now it has a vc-turbocharged 4-cylinder 2.0 liter producing 268 horsepower and 286 pound-feet of torque paired to the same 9-speed automatic transmission, achieving 22 mpgs for the city, 27 mpgs for the highway, which that's 20 over 27. Non-all-wheel drive configuration. Towing maxes at 3,500 pounds, but Infiniti says that towing can max at 6,000 pounds even though they've dropped the V6 to this 4-cylinder VC turbocharged engine, which is a variable compression ratio, and that sets the tone for your MPGs, meaning when you're not mashing on the gas, it'll go as low as a 4-cylinder diesel engine for your MPGs. But when you mash on the gas, it's supposed to go up to like a naturally aspirated V6. It's just a little bit of an overkill. I mean, let me know your thoughts on that. The Black Edition package gives us these blacked out 20-inch wheels. Standard is 20-inch wheels. You get the matte black surrounding the fenders, the lower sill with the Infiniti print gloss black for the side view mirrors. The roof rails get the gloss black because of the Black Edition package. Unfortunately, it doesn't blacken out everything. I mean, what the hell was Infiniti thinking? Or Nissan thinking in this perspective? Because we still have chrome here, where Nissan puts gloss black on the top here, but they still add the damn chrome here. Towing still will max to 6,000 pounds for the 25 variants on Nissan. And when you go to the Rock Creek, it's going to be more of that off-roadsy vehicle with an off-road tuned suspension. Infiniti doesn't even offer that. 18-inch wheels. When you go into the SV, you'll get 20-inch wheels. The roof rails are picked up, so you don't have to option these crossbars, but I would do so. It looks cooler, and it holds up to 165 pounds. The side view mirror is the same color as the body. The lower skirt gets the Pathfinder badging, and it's basically the same layout. The mud flaps, that's a premium even on the Infiniti, which doesn't make sense because if you put these two side by side in pricing, you're talking near $20,000 difference. LED taillights, the Nissan badging in the center with the Pathfinder print with reverse sensors and a reverse camera. And yes, you can get features like a 360-degree reverse camera, 4 different trims to choose from. You can fit 8 passengers when you go into the Pathfinder, or 7, whereas when you go into Infiniti, it's 7 or 6. The QX60, it gets LED taillights. You get the blacked out badging, the print, and the lower bits because we have the Black Edition package. But again, they left too much chrome for that upgraded price. It's worth it for the wheels and the chrome delete, but you're still going to have to spend at least a couple $100 just to finish the side of the vehicle, because I personally have bought an autograph and it cost me $800 to do a full chrome delete on the vehicle, which would be cheaper than this, and I added 22-inch wheels. The lower is going to have that fake exhaust look. Front and rear parking sensors, a 360-degree reverse camera starts on this trim. So it doesn't start on the base. That was another reason why I chose to do the Luxe, because the base trim, you actually get stripped out of quite a bit of features. So then it's not really worth going into Infiniti because you're spending an extra $15,000, $20,000. But because you're getting a lot more features here, it starts becoming a question. Which one is better? Styling, I think Infiniti did a great job. Power, Nissan takes it. Towing capabilities, it's the same, but once you go up to a Platinum or an Autograph, the pricing starts getting a lot more close to around $10,000 to $12,000 difference. Still have to option the same features in both of them, but for me, I went Infiniti, I got the Autograph, and I paid just a touch over 60 grand. The MSRP to that was over 70-some thousand dollars. So if you're able to capture a great deal like that, by all means, go to the Infiniti. You're getting 4-year warranty opposed to 3-year. I'm not so keen on the VC turbocharged engine. I actually prefer the V6 engine, which is one reason why I would probably go on this route instead, because I feel like this is going to be more bulletproof. But depending on the deal that you get, let me know which way you would go. Power liftgate going into 16.6 cubic feet of storage, which apparently is 2.1 cubic feet more. I guess you'll have to let me know in the comments what you think when we go over there. You get bag holders here. Underneath the floor, get some storage. Split fold the rear bench. You can pull these first or however you like, and you just fold this at a 60-40 split. Now on Infiniti, you're going to notice it doesn't have that third headrest. This is going to increase cargo to 45 cubic feet, which is 4.4 cubic feet more than the Infiniti. And to maximize to the 80.5 cubic feet, you have to come inside here, pull this lever, and it's going to pull down flat at a 60-40 split to max cargo capacity to the Nissan, which is 5.1 cubic feet more than in the Infiniti. Power liftgate for the Infiniti going into 14.5 cubic feet of storage. You get the bag holders. There isn't any headrest, like I said, underneath the floor. Get storage. And we also have a 12-volt charger here, which you have to go up the tier on Nissan to do so. So this is literally apples to apples. Pull this. You're going to fold this down at a 60-40 split, and now that increases cargo to 41.6 cubic feet. Now to maximize the cargo to the 75.4 cubic feet, you got to come in here just like on Nissan, pull this, folds down flat. I mean, what do you think? Is it about the same? I don't really see that much of a difference in the cargo capacity. The key fob to the Pathfinder SV. Cloth seats starts it off. 10-way power seat adjustment for the driver, heated front seats. Now you will get the leather seats on the SL, which is a little bit more comparable. It's around $3,000 difference from this because this is a base trim. Standard 6 speakers. Bose will start as an option there with 13 speakers with manual seat adjustments. You get storage here. The dashboard layout is completely different. This is an 8-inch screen, but it does have a 12 when you go into the SL. And just to show you the difference of the key fob, this is the Infiniti, and putting them side to side. The Lux will get 12-way power seat adjustment, heated, ventilated front seats. Now there is more features to these vehicles. When you go into the Autograph, you get massage as well as the sensory memory for the driver. But you're going to notice the dashboard layout is completely different. Bose is a little bit more generous. You get 17 speakers here. We get the aluminum, and it's a 2-tier dashboard. The Autograph will get the diamond stitch, 12.3-inch screen. This driver focus setup here on Infiniti, and that's not going to be the case on Nissan. Let's fire it up. No auto dimming rear view mirror is going to come on the base trim, and no LED lighting, nor the moonroof. Now you can option features to make it more desirable, but once you start going $3, $4, $5, $10,000, I mean, is it better to go to Infiniti? 8-inch infotainment screen here. The 12 will have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming, Bluetooth audio. You'll still have the wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, but you'll have a little bit more features when it goes into that one. With a reverse camera, the trajectory does expand, and you still have physical buttons here. With tri-climate control, no wireless charging pad comes on the base trim, but on the SL, that's a little bit more comparable. You'll get that with a 12-volt USB-C, and the Razor is a little different here, as well as this whole center cluster. As you can tell on the Infiniti side, and this is going to be standard on all trims. Let's fire it up. You have a touchpad for your climate control. You still have physical knobs, but I have had this system actually lock up where it doesn't work, and I had to turn the car on and off. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto is wireless, but it doesn't cover up the whole screen for the 2025 variant. This is the Infiniti screen, so that way you can see the map and you can see the full full image. Put it into reverse, you get a 360-degree reverse camera. The trajectory does expand. For 2026, this is the big upgrade. It's changing out this and giving you a Google Maps, Google Assist, Google Play, because this is Google-based system. They're also changing out the Bose upgraded sound system to Klipsch. Heads-up display is on the Sensory, is on the Autograph. Auto-dimming rear view mirror with the home link, and you get in LED interior lighting. I like the Razor a little bit better on the Infiniti. You still have the rotary knob here for your infotainment screen and the driver mode select, which you have a total of 5 different driving modes. And this infotainment screen is a full digital reader, so what that means is you can go through an array of different content, and you can also change the display layout. Leather-wrapped steering wheel, heated multi-function. Check out the leg space that you have. Headroom. We get the pano that goes to the back seats. It's going to be more sporty. It opens up into a pretty deep storage pocket. You get some card holders, a 12-volt pin holder, and another card holder here. The door card and dashboard configuring together nicely, and it's soft materials. That's why I personally bought an Infiniti, because of all the soft materials. One touch up and down for all the windows, acoustic front windows and front windscreen with a long storage pocket, and you can fit probably 2 bottles here for your beverage holder. And Nissan does the same layout. It's soft to touch where it needs to be. One touch up and down for all the windows. You'll still get the dual pane windows in the front with the acoustic front windscreen. Dashboard and door panel do configure together. You get this C structure with the gloss black, leather-wrapped steering wheel, multi-function with the paddle shifts. The gauge cluster is a 7-inch TFT display that can go through an array of different content for the driver. You can get the full digital reader, though, that will be the same as the Infiniti. Pathfinder badging, this opens up, and it's a deeper storage pocket. You only have 1 card holder here, so apparently it's a little bit more business-oriented when you go to Infiniti. You still get the pin holder in this, so this is basically, or it is the same exact layout. Here's a little different because you have an area that, I don't know, maybe you could put some lipstick because I don't see anything else. You still have the driver mode select, which has a total of 5 different driving modes. Leg space is going to be the same. Flat bottom steering wheel are on both. Headroom, it's going to be a little bit better here on Nissan. For the back seats on the Pathfinder, this is the opening that you have to fit 2 more with the cup holders and armrest down. 3rd climate control, USB ports, storage beyond both of the front seats. The door card is going to be stripped of soft materials. Now it's everyday materials except for where it needs to be. Pretty decent sized grab handle, 2 beverage holders here and another 2 on the bottom. Sitting behind me, you sit up a little bit higher, you have plenty of leg space. You can also move this forward where I wouldn't be able to fit, but look at the leg space that you would give for the 3rd row occupants. I would just lay it back like this, recline the seats, and enjoy the air vents that's in the ceiling. Headroom, you actually have about 4 inches or more. Sliding into the center, the floor is more or less flat, but this area here kind of bulges out, so it pushes your feet upwards, but you still have plenty of feet space, butt, leg, and shoulder space, not really shared. It's a wide vehicle. Can you fit 3 here? You can. For the back seats on the Infiniti, 2 can fit the same way. This armrest with cup holders down. Climate control, USBs, storage beyond both of the front seats with a manual sunshade. If I can get it to latch. Soft materials are everywhere, so I guess the 15-20 grand premium, it's going to be a little bit more soft materials. You're going to lose some storage here though, but you have about the same size storage there. Illuminated kick plates, that is an upgrade. Sitting behind me, the seats are carved out, so it's the same thing. You have the same area here that bulges out. You can also move these forward, but they don't go as forward as Nissan. It still will give you a substantial amount of space in the rear, and headroom is a lot less. I have maybe an inch. Now, reclining these back, I can feel the air vents on both on the headliner. A lot of it also is derived because we have a moonroof. Sliding into the center, the floor is more or less flat, so you're not going to be sharing feet space, butt, leg, and shoulder space. It's literally the same exact thing as Nissan here, except the headroom becomes a lot more compromised. For the Infiniti, push the button, it's going to move forward. You can fit 2 more in the back. You get armrest with cup holders, USB-C port only on one side, air vent here. Put this seat behind me so you can see the leg space. I have just a touch headroom. I'm kind of dying back here. You can recline these. It's not necessarily easy. It's still not going to help with headroom, and you got a little storage pocket in between. Nissan does the same thing for the Pathfinder. You push the button, it'll slide forward to fit 3 more instead of 2 more. That is the major difference. You have the cup holders, no USB charging ports back here, but when you change tiers, that does come into play. Sliding this back, look at that. I can actually fit, it is snug, I'm pretty much against there, but look at the headroom. It's a noticeable difference. And you can still recline these seats, which is not the easiest thing to do. And you actually have a couple inches more. Plus, I could sit here in the center, but if you're noticing, leg space is pretty much against the seat, but shoulder space, it's gonna be shared because these bulge out. Headroom is still doable. This is with the seat reclined, and just to show you the difference with it up, I still have plenty of space. It's just not that much leg room. Since the QX60 has 16 horsepower less, I thought it would be best to take it out first. This is the 2.0 liter variable compression turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. 268 horsepower and 286 pound-feet of torque. Now that's paired to the same 9-speed automatic transmission, but you're gonna have less clearance in this, a little bit less cargo in this, and this is gonna be $15,000 to $20,000 more. I like Infiniti myself. It's very sealed up, cleaned up in the interior as well. Tech forward is gonna be more so for the 2026 variant. When you're going into Nissan, you're gonna be stripped down in some features, but it's basically like a Infiniti on a diet. That's the way I like to say it, because Infiniti gets made first and then they go and make the Nissan variant. But we're gonna see the power now. It gets up to speed pretty decent. I will say when you're driving around 9 miles or a little under, you're gonna feel a lot more jerks because the variable compression ratio doesn't know which way to go. And when you touch the throttle or gas pedal, it'll just kind of jerk you. So you'll feel it a little bit more so, and that can also come around a 30-mile-an-hour range. We're gonna slow it down just a bit to around 40. And there's where I would say the lag really comes into play a little bit more so. It kind of doesn't know which way to go because you're flooring it, changing that compression ratio so it can get better fuel economy / more performance, or vice versa. In which it does make the vehicle have a lot more jerks. Not as smooth as the V6 variant was. Maneuverability, the steering does have some weight to it. It feels a lot more athletic inside here though, and a lot of that also is derived because you have cloth seats in the Nissan. So when you go into a Pathfinder and you tick the box to maybe the SL, you'll start getting a little bit more features that can be comparable to this, but then the price will escalate at least $3,000 to $5,000 more, which doesn't make it as much of a sweet spot because now you're in a $10,000 to $15,000 price difference. And I know $10,000 is a lot in pricing, especially if you're doing like a 72-month loan. I mean, you're probably around $160 to $180 difference in price, but that's the MSRP, not the deal that you're trying to get on the vehicle. Because in most cases, the Lux, they're dropping a lot of value on those cars. You see what I mean by the hesitation though. Like, I want to get over in front of the semi, I can do so, but there is a substantial difference in this opposed to the V6. And it's not just because of the turbocharged, it's because of that variable compression ratio. If it would have just made it a turbo, I think it would have been a little bit more alive. Road noise does filter in. We're riding on 20s. I personally have an autograph. It does have a little bit more sound deadening to it. Braking, you can stop on a dime if you need to. And look at this. It's not that wide of a vehicle, so you can maneuver pretty good. And turn radius at a stop point, it's gonna get about to a park lane. Let's rock and roll. It kind of feels like it's dead once you're at a 30-ish mile-an-hour speed. If you do it off the line, it has a little bit more excitement because you do increase torque, and I know it's not a significant amount, but 27 pound-feet of torque is still pretty decent. I mean, this is a small engine. It doesn't feel wide, it doesn't feel long, so I appreciate that. And now the Pathfinder that has the 16 horsepower more with the naturally aspirated V6 3.5 liter, 284 horsepower, but then the torque down to 259 pound-feet, which I'm not necessarily disappointed, but you know they could get a little bit more power out of this little bad boy here. Now we're going to do the same driving where we have it in sport mode so you can see the difference. No turbocharged, naturally aspirated. This is what you get. Now because you do have the less torque, it's not going to plant you in the seat as much. But again, 27 pound-feet of torque, it's not groundbreaking. We're going to brake a little bit. Going about 35. Oh yeah, that's where she comes alive. That's why this engine is better, right off the bat. If you are in any type of traffic jam and you gotta do some maneuvers in a pinch, you can do so here. And I appreciate that because the VC turbocharged engine, it does start having some issues trying to figure out where to change the ratio because there is an extra pulley that is doing this to offset those MPGs. And to save 2 MPGs for the city, it's not a deal breaker for me, but it will take me into some pros and cons. Both of the vehicles are pretty decent in value because it is hard to get a luxury variant at the price that Infiniti is at, and it's hard to get a everyday third row vehicle that's family oriented at the price this is at, because let's face it, when you go into competition, you're gonna pay a lot more money on these vehicles. It's still quiet in the interior. I mean, Nissan seals up the vehicles really well. The seats are gonna be a little bit more comfortable on Infiniti, but that's to be expected. And considering these are 18-inch instead of those 20-inch wheels, I would actually hope it would be a little bit more quiet in the wheel well area. So it just shows you that Infiniti does do a little bit better with the sound deadening. You get a little bit more bang for your buck with the sound system, and you get a little bit more charging capacity, but you're gonna lose seats, you're gonna lose ground clearance, towing is gonna be the same, payload is the same, you're gonna lose a little bit of cargo capacity, and headroom also is not going to be as good as the Pathfinder. The drive to this, I don't hear that engine as much. That 4-cylinder turbo, I hear it all the time when I'm driving because it's staying at around 2 RPM, whereas the V6, it's dropping to barely 1 RPM as I'm coasting at 55 miles per hour. Visibility is great on both vehicles. Going back to the main question, which is better? For me, like I said on the exterior, I went to Infiniti because of service, because of the deal that I got. The Lux, they're doing a lot of deals. That's another reason why I compared the two, because when you go into the Pure, you're not getting all the features. It doesn't really feel as stepped up like an Infiniti because you're not even getting a 360-degree reverse camera. So in that category, I would go to the SV. I would probably step it up one notch to the SL because you can get more features and you can option things to make this a little bit more desirable for interior amenities. Turn radius, it's gonna be the same, about 2 and a par lane. Let's rock and roll. It gets up to speed quicker. I mean, it feels a little bit more than a second quicker. 2 MPGs, it's not going to break the bank for me. I probably would go into the Nissan variant opposed to the Infiniti, but because they give you such a discount with the new Infinitis and they're doing that refresh, it's hard to pass up the Infiniti at a few $1,000 difference, even though the MSRP suggests thousands of dollars difference. But let me know which way you would go in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check this next video out right here.